November 1975 saw a change at my house. I had just started my first job, and I finally, after several years, was going to get my own phone lines again. This time I decided to go ahead and let the phone company give me 887 numbers. That's what they always did if you ordered a new phone line in my neighborhood. And the reason was that 887 was a new number 5 crossbar entity, Lindbrook's second, that they were trying to fill up. Installed in 1966 or 67, it was so new that there were no letters for 887. Now, 887 was very much the same as Lindbrook 3 for most practical purposes. It sounds the same calling long distance, for example. But for calling 914, there was a pleasant surprise. 887, unlike Lindbrook 3, had a good variety of different trunks. First of all, there was an N3 carrier system that sounds like this. You may have noticed that there's a huge contrast in the amount of noise from the off-hook condition, which you heard during those flashes, to this, the on-hook condition. All of the trunks in this system sound exactly the same. I can't tell which one I'm getting. Now this call was to the number 1 ESS in the White Plains building on the code 390. That's a free New York Telephone Centrex code, but any number 1 ESS would have this kind of a supervision test. Here's another call getting a number 2 ESS supervision test, and it again takes an N3 trunk to White Plains. This N3 noise is a nice sound. The disadvantage of this is that most of these calls we make stay on hook, so you lose some details just because the on-hook condition of this is so noisy. Not a problem for people making completed phone calls, but for us listening to the phone noises, it's a nice sound that will sometimes block out details. However, this is not all we've got. This is a trunk I know very well. This is one of our suspected ON carrier trunks. It doesn't like juice. It won't respond. These trunks are mixed in with N1 carrier groups for some reason. Apparently the two systems are compatible. This is definitely not N1, but it's in the family. Let's get an N1. Okay, this is an N1. This will respond to juice. And the N1s do not all sound alike. Let's call back and see what we get. Okay, this time we got an N3. And I'm going to go to another tape, but first, let me just point out that these 887 to White Plains trunks do let you hear the outpulsing, whether they be N3, N1, or that other type that I think is probably ON. Now here is a somewhat over-recorded tape of calling the same number over and over. It's a dial pulse out call, and I'll play some snippets to let you hear how each N1 trunk sounds different. Okay, this time it just plain failed. But I've got a few more. This is my no juice friend again. And that last was the N3 system. So let's make some complete non-completed phone calls now. And now that we're on 887, we can actually hear White Plains 1 revertive pulsing to White Plains 9, the crossbar 1 in the same building, except now the RP is loud and clear. You know, during the ticks that occur after the supervision test has finished, you can hear distinctive office noise that's different with each building. The N3 family carrier makes that hard to hear. Let's call back and get this same White Plains 9 soup test over N1. Well, that worked, and also you could hear MF crosstalk earlier in the test process. I apologize for my phone patch from this 887 line. Every time there's a pulse of DC from dial tone coming on or the tick-a-clunk, the phone patch kind of fades out for a second, so it messes up those local clicks. Then we have the tape printing through the touchstones. Having this stuff recorded at too high a level means that a lot of details are clearly audible, especially if you're listening to this driving the car, but it's really compressed, so the relative volumes of various items can't be trusted from the tapes used in this particular program. Here are two calls to the vacant level reorder tone in the 320 code, which is a step Centrex for the AT&T White Plains building, the one that has
9141.
the regional center. First over N1, then N3. Two 3-4, also known as Bedford 4, is a fairly close-in step owned by New York Telephone. They have to dial 1 first. New York Telephone has recently begun charging for directory assistance, and so they have a vacant level recording which handles the case where people dialing the old 411 code need to be told to dial 1 plus
555-1212.
so they can be billed for the directory assistance call. The recording that follows was used all over Upper 914 and was heard during 1975 especially. This goes through White Plains Tandem 1 over N3 type carrier, I'm not sure what kind of trunk it's getting to Bedford Village. Bedford being a small step, White Plains of course dialed the last 4 digits, and from 887 you can hear the dial pulsing.
Call is dialed. If you are calling local directory assistance, please dial 1 plus 555 1212. This is a recording. We cannot complete your call as dialed. If you are calling local directory assistance, please dial 1 plus 555 1212. This is a recording. We cannot complete your...
Here's the same thing over N1 carrier to White Plains. The N1 carrier is quiet enough so that I can discern that from White Plains to Bedford on this next call is N3 family.
Complete your call as dialed. If you are calling local directory assistance, please dial 1 plus 555 1212. This is a recording.
Just to show you that recording is a standard tape, here it is from a step in Mount Kisco, which again White Plains has direct trunks to.
If you are calling local directory assistance, please dial 1 plus 555 1212. This is a recording. We cannot complete your call as dialed. If you are calling local directory assistance, please dial 1 plus 555 1212. This is a recording.
Mount Kisco has a crossbar tandem with recording ID 9147, but the Mount Kisco sector is close in, so White Plains has direct trunks to everything in that sector. You almost never get the XBT when calling that area. Not so with Monticello, one of the far out sectors. Here's a brief call to the Lake Huntington step in the Monticello sector. N1 carrier on both ends of the connection, and you can hear it's got the old standard tape before directory assistance charging.
We are unable to complete your call as dialed.
I hung up early, but that does go on to say,
when calling long distance, please dial a 1 or 0 first,
etc. I came across a small step in Marlboro, New York, that is in the Newburgh Crossbar 5 tandem sector, and Newburgh itself homes on Poughkeepsie, so it's pretty far out there. It's so far out there that the vacant level recording there doesn't even tell people to dial 1 first, not because they don't have to do it, but because it's so far away from New York City that of course you have to do it. They also haven't gotten the memo about directory assistance charging, so here you're hearing a basic small step vacant level recording. White Plains doesn't have trunks to the Marlboro office, but it does send it through the Newburgh Crossbar 5 tandem.
This is a recording. I'm sorry, the number you have reached is not in service or may have been changed. Please consult your directory. This is a recording. I'm sorry, the number you have reached is not in service or may have been changed. Please consult your directory. This is a recording. I'm I'm sorry. The number you have reached is not in service.
It's amazing how much N1 carrier goes in and out of the White Plains building. On that previous call, you can clearly hear that the trunk from White Plains to the Newburgh Crossbar 5 tandem. See, that's N1 carrier 2. Nice MF crosstalk.
Not in service.
Now when we get an N3 trunk to White Plains, you can still hear the resonance, strongly suggesting that that second link from White Plains,
I'm sorry.
there, is probably an N1 trunk.
Recording. I'm sorry. The number you have reached is not in service or may have been changed. Please consult your directory. This is a recording. I'm sorry. The number you have reached is not in service or may have been changed. Please consult your directory. This is a recording.
Next is a call to Chappaqua, where trying to get a vacant level, I instead got left high and dry. But it's an interesting sounding trunk. It starts with a suspected ON carrier trunk to White Plains. Interesting sounding trunk. Now this White Plains trunk is kind of funny because when I flash my hook, well, you'll hear the noise it makes. Okay, let's try it again. I'm sure someone knows what kind of a data device that was, a TDD or a fax-like device or something. This is making a few more interesting ticks and clinks. There's one. I think that's just the carrier. I got this on 0000. Here's 1111.
We cannot complete your call as dialed. If you are calling local directory assistance, please dial 1 plus 555 1212. This is a recording.
That also is a New York telephone standard voice. Here's another take of the same text.
We cannot complete your call as dialed. If you are calling local directory assistance, please dial 1 plus 555 1212. This is a recording.
This is a step in Grahamsville via the Monticello XBT.
We cannot complete your call as dialed. If you are calling local directory assistance, please dial 1 plus 555 1212. This is a recording.
Number you're calling, please. Special operator, may I help you?
Now that, I'm pretty sure, is a number 5 crossbar office that White Plains dial pulses into. The reason I think it is not because of this ring, but rather because of that ring trip that we heard. This. Steps just don't trip the ring like that. It's a number 5 crossbar with dial pulse incoming. That will sometimes happen when an office has a lot of dial pulse incoming registers available, probably because it lives in a step environment, and so they used it for White Plains incoming. It just takes a little longer to go through. That last call was to Spring Valley in the Nyack sector, but White Plains had direct trunks. Here's a crossbar 5 in Nyack itself. This time White Plains MFs to it, and we're going to get N3 to White Plains.
Number you're calling, please.
Here's the same thing over N1 to White Plains 1, and you can tell that from White Plains to the Nyack crossbar 5 is N3 family.
What number are you calling, please? This is a special operator. What number are you calling, please? Hello, waiting.
Hello, waiting, and then an immediate disconnect? That doesn't quite make sense. Anyway, next is a call to a number 2 ESS that White Plains has direct trunks to. You can tell it's a number 2 ESS because of the triple click that it makes in going to intercept.
The number you have reached is not in service or temporarily disconnected. The number you have reached is not in service at this time. This is a recording.
There are two basic kinds of Centrex. Centrex CO, served by number 5 crossbar and ESS offices where each line is a central office line, and Centrex CU, which is an actual separate private branch exchange for the particular organization. To sort out the various Centrex CUs within a given office code, Poughkeepsie uses number 1 step equipment. That number 1 step equipment had a recording in August 1974 that was inappropriately identifying 9148. Let's call a vacant 1000 group in a Poughkeepsie Centrex CU exchange and see if the recording's been corrected. This goes from White Plains 1 to the Poughkeepsie crossbar tandem.
9148.
That's what should have the ID, and it dials into the step, which should not. That's one way to solve the problem, just don't have a recording. But actually it was apparently busy. We'll try it again. And by the way, this reorder tone is obviously coming from number 1 step equipment because of the type of resonance that it has.
This is a recording. I'm sorry. We are unable to complete your call as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or ask your operator for assistance. This is a recording.
Well, I'm glad they got that straightened out. Now here's a 5 crossbar Centrex in Poughkeepsie. This doesn't have to go through the step selector, but it still goes through the XBT.
I'm sorry. You have reached a non-working number at IBM. If you are calling from the outside, you can reach our attendant by dialing 463-1234. If you are inside, please consult your directory or dial 0 for your attendant. If you are using the IBM network, dial 253-1011. This is a recording. You have reached a non-working number at IBM.
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised we've been calling Bell System locations only, and it's been really interesting. I guess the variation in trunks and being able to hear the outpulsing really helps. Now let's call some independents. Middletown is a GTE area. It has a mystery tandem, acts almost like a 4A, at least as far as what you hear, because you can MF into it and it cuts through with a tick. Here is a call to one of its tributaries, to which it is apparently MFing out. We hear White Plains MFing to Middletown, then a short pause while Middletown MFs to the trib.
This is a recording at Circleville, Thompson Ridge. I'm sorry, the number you have reached is not in service at this time. Please consult your directory assistance for the correct number. This is a recording at Circleville, Thompson Ridge. I'm sorry, the number you have reached is not in service at this time. Please consult your directory assistance for the correct number. This is a recording at Circleville, Thompson Ridge. I'm sorry.
That call went over N3 carrier to White Plains, and I think it's usually N1 carrier from White Plains to Middletown. Here are 3 calls in a row to the step in Middletown itself. The mystery tandem has to pause longer because it's dialing probably 5 digits into the step. The first call seems to have normal transmission because the ring is loud, as it should be, because it's a typical loud GTE ring. The next 2 calls get very low transmission. There's an independent step tandem in Rhinebeck, New York.
91412.
That tandem homes on Poughkeepsie.
9148.
Here's a call to Elzeville, one of the Rhinebeck tributaries. White Plains 1 dials 7 digits through Rhinebeck to reach it.
I'm sorry, we are unable to complete your call is dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or ask your operator for assistance. This is a recording.
sorry, we are unable to complete your call as dialed. Please check the number and dial.
Now here's a call to the Rhinebeck Exchange 876. This office has the same GTE type ring as the step in Middletown, very loud. Vacant thousand groups in the 876 Exchange share the same recording as the step tandem levels as well. And at the end of the recording, you get a 30 impulse per minute reorder tone, very rare in the North American network.
I'm sorry, we're unable to complete your call as dialed. Please check the number and dial again or ask your operator for assistance. This is a recording. 91412.
White Plains 1 has so many trunks to Rhinebeck that it seems to never run out. If it did, it would reroute the call through Poughkeepsie. In fact, I wish White Plains 1 had more trunks to Poughkeepsie. Those are the trunks that always seem to be running out around here.
We're sorry.
Poughkeepsie trunks are busy right now.
While I never did see the Rhinebeck trunks all busy, there was one day when the carrier system to Rhinebeck was failing. Here's a call to Rhinebeck, where White Plains 1 gets a bad trunk to Rhinebeck and starts to dial over it. You can hear the trunk is producing a lot of noise. It comes through the register sender. After the fourth digit is dialed, you can hear White Plains dropping the Rhinebeck trunk because it flashed. The background noise goes away. And then you hear White Plains rerouting through Poughkeepsie, which then silently to us dials the 7-digit number into the Rhinebeck tandem.
I'm sorry, we're unable to complete your call as dialed. Please check the number and dial again or ask your operator for assistance. This is a recording. 91412.
Speaking of step tandems that White Plains 1 dials 7 digits into, here is the Warwick School District recording. This goes over N3 carrier to White Plains 1, which dials over N1 carrier to Warwick, which as of November 1975, when this stuff was recorded, was still a step.
School events, Tuesday, September 30, 7:30, High School Auditorium, Guidance Meeting, Parents of Seniors. Thursday, October 2, Park Avenue School, 7 o'clock, Meeting on Boy Scouting. Thursday, October 2, Girls Soccer Game with Chester, home, 3:30. Friday, October 3, Varsity JV Soccer, Middletown, away at 3:45. JV Football, Washingtonville, away, 4 o'clock. Saturday, October 4, Varsity Football, Washingtonville, home, 1:30. 3-hour safe driving course, Monday, October 6th. School events, Tuesday, September 30.
Here is a call to the Warwick vacant level recording. It goes over N1 carrier to White Plains, and then from White Plains to Warwick is also N1.
This is a recording from Warwick, New York. The number you are calling cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number or code you are calling and dial again. Thank you. This is a recording from Warwick, New York. The number you are calling cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number or code you are calling and dial again. Thank you.
This time we get N3 to White Plains 1, which again uses N1 to get to Warwick.
This is a recording from Warwick, New York. The number you are calling cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number or code you are calling and dial again. Thank you. This is a recording from Warwick, New York. The number you are calling cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number or code you are calling and dial again. Thank you.
Even through this very loud N3 carrier noise that we're getting to White Plains, you can still hear the howl of the N1 carrier trunk that's going from White Plains to the Warwick step tandem. This does not last through all of 1975. Something changes in December. I'll tell you about that in the next program. Next is a call to Unionville, New York, via the same circuitous route. Let's see, it's White Plains 1, White Plains 2, Rochelle Park, Sussex, Unionville.
What number you dial? Hello? Hello?
North Clove is an independent tributary of Poughkeepsie. It's not a step. Poughkeepsie MFs to it, White Plains sends it through Poughkeepsie, and its intercept is handled by the Poughkeepsie 0 operator. When she answers, an audible ringtone sounds, and that's supposed to tell her to connect us to the Poughkeepsie intercept operator. But on this first call, over N3 carrier, she doesn't.
I'm sorry. The number you have reached is not in service at this time. If you need assistance, please stay on the line and an operator will answer. This is a recording. I'm sorry. The number you have reached is not in service at this time. If you need assistance, please stay on the line and an operator will answer. This is a recording.
Good evening. May I help you? May I help you?
If I'd spoken up real loudly, she probably would have thought that I was a North Clove customer and I could have asked her for anything. Here's another call to the same thing. This time we get suspected ON to White Plains 1 and its trunks to Poughkeepsie are busy again, so it uses White Plains 2,
9141,
which then has some sort of 2600 controlled trunks to Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie then MFs to North Clove, and the operator actually functions correctly this time. This whole thing sounds really cool over this combination of trunks.
I'm sorry. The number you have reached is not in service at this time. If you need assistance, please stay on the line and an operator will answer. This is a recording. I'm sorry. The number you have reached is not in service at this time. If you need assistance, please stay on the line and an operator will answer. This is a recording.
Number you've dialed requires assistance. Hold on, please. What number did you dial?
At this point, you might be wondering why this whole series is centered around Warwick, New York. Well, in the next program, you'll see exactly why. Let's just say something happens in Warwick that then gets a bit freaky. With a PH. That's next.